So, a bit of an update to my last video. I was discussing both Star Wars Insider collections, Volume 1 and Volume 2, which are coming out later this year, March and September respectively. Volume 1 was initially advertised as a collection of stories from the EU/Legends universe, or so we thought. After all, there was no reason for the EU fanbase not to believe this collection would be anything other than original continuity material. That's what the Legends banner has signified for hundreds of reprinted EU books and comics for the past 7 years. We were never led to believe anything different. Then we got news about Volume 2. In a controversial move, it was going to include the original EU as well as stories from the new Disney canon. Many fans were, and still are, upset about the news, as it's kind of muddying the line between canon and Legends, especially since the front cover includes the Legends banner, signifying that the stories inside should be a part of the original Legends timeline. I took a fairly optimistic approach in my last video. I thought, well, this could be an opportunity for the publisher, Titan Comics, to introduce Legends fans to the new canon, and vice versa. And hopefully, in the near future, we might see brand new Legends stories in Star Wars Insider, as putting Legends content side by side with new canon apparently wasn't a huge concern for them. I think them putting the canons together like this is a very strange move, and probably the wrong one. But at least we were told beforehand that they were going to do this. Not long after I posted my first video, some of my friends messaged me and were like, dude, Volume 1 is also going to include the new canon. Some of the book's pages on Amazon confirms it. And sure enough, if you look at Volume 1 on Amazon, you can see some of the stories that are going to be in the book. Some of them are canon, and some of them are Legends. This is pretty sucky news. Titan Comics did not inform us that this was going to be the case with Volume 1 before people started pre-ordering. And this bait and switch is pretty frustrating. The product description for Volume 1 said absolutely nothing about any new canon stories being a part of it. So I do view it as very misleading. And you can't even say, well, if you checked Amazon, you would have seen that both continuities are in there. As if nobody in the EU community wouldn't have seen that and immediately spread it around. Say what you want about us, but we're pretty good at sharing information with each other. And we couldn't have done it if we wanted to, because the pages weren't there from the beginning. If you don't know how Amazon works, specifically with books, a product and the description of said product gets added to the site long before it becomes available. Over time, more and more information gets added to it, such as cover art and preview pages. The preview pages for Volume 1 weren't there right away. I know. I double-checked on the Wayback Machine. No preview pages in December, but now we start to see them in early January. A little over 2 months until the release date. At the very least, it looks like the stories within will say what timeline it's part of, highlighted with or without the Legends banner. It makes this confusing mess just a little more tolerable. But yeah, EU fans are pissed, and I am too. We were sold a bill of goods, and I can understand if people don't even want to get Volume 1 anymore. It's pretty unfortunate that this book, which would have otherwise been a home run for EU fans everywhere, now has this weird caveat attached. If both volumes are going to include stories from both continuities, you could have easily just taken the EU stories and separated it into Volume 1, and then take the canon stories out and combine them into Volume 2. Put the Legends banner on Volume 1, and then obviously leave it off for Volume 2. I want to talk to someone from Titan Comics and just figure out why they did this. Now, I'll start making some assumptions again, and they will sound conspiratorial, but I'm not sure how else to explain it. You guys can draw your own conclusions. Okay, number 1. Both volumes contain both continuities, but both have the Legends banner on it. Why? I think because these books are meant to advertise to the EU/Legends fans. I think the EU fans are more likely to pick this up, as we do have a reputation of grabbing all the Star Wars content we can find for our massive collections. So you're more likely to make that money. Number 2, you didn't initially tell fans that Volume 1 would contain new canon stories. Why? I think they were trying to hide that fact, because once some EU fans learned that they were mixing in both continuities, I think many of them would immediately lose interest. I myself have zero interest in the new canon. If they did say that both continuities were part of this volume, I would do the wait and see approach like I am for Volume 2, just to see if a majority of the stories were EU, rather than pre-ordering it right away. And number 3, both volumes contain both continuities, but instead, both continuities could have easily been divided into 2 separate volumes. Why not do that? I think they were trying to sell more products. For example, if I, as a hardcore EU fan, heard that Volume 1 was pure Legends, and Volume 2 was Disney canon only, I would have grabbed Volume 1 in a heartbeat, and not even spared a passing glance for Volume 2. But now that I hear that there are Legend stories in both volumes, the completionist in me is at least considering getting both volumes now. Disney canon content aside. At least those are my 3 big takeaways from this news, and I'm not happy about it. Again, I would like to hear from someone in Titan Comics to know what the deal is. I know some people have changed their mind about picking this up now. I am still going to get Volume 1, and I'll just take this as a lesson as to never pre-order something, no matter how cool it looks. But now, as for Volume 2, I was at least thinking about getting it, just to have the insider stories in hardcover. But man, I am really hesitant now. And now I definitely do not trust Titan Comics. Everything about this whole situation seems pretty sus. And that stinks because I was really excited about getting Volume 1, and now there's just a cloud hanging above with all this news. How about you guys? Is the fact that Disney canon story is going to be in these volumes even bother you? Did you change your mind about getting it once you heard the news? I am very interested in hearing from all of you.